Hey guys, I'm Leila. So today we have a showcase from US, and this is going to be for Shadowkin Faction War. One of the things that comes up a lot is people say how they struggle in Faction Wars with pretty much trying to clear it without legendaries and without revivers, because not everybody was able to get Ninja. Unfortunately, he's such a good champ, and we know that Shadowkin is very, very deeply lacking revivers. We have Kinagashi now, who's basically the main one, but there are, two other ones in there that aren't exactly true revivers that not everybody has. So today's showcase is going to be for Shadowkin Faction Wars, no legendaries, no revivers. And the team is going to be Genbo, Aborro, Jurroen, Turagi, and Berningiri. So before we get into the faction war, let me show you guys their gear sets. And this showcase is from US, so US, thank you very much. Now, he wanted to point out that he tried to put a little bit more, not exactly like S tier gear on these, because he was thinking he wanted to be able to help maybe more like earlier to mid game viewers be able to try to clear faction wars, even though he has plenty of S tier gear. So you are going to notice that the stats are not going to be top tier. The gear isn't going to be either. And so that's what you're going to see here. So starting with Genbo, you are going to see he's in a lifesteal and an immortal set. And when we get to his stats, 48,000 HP, he's at 2,800 attack, which again is really low for an attack champ. But again, starting out early, you might not necessarily have the gear you need to be able to achieve the attack. 2,600 defense, his speed's at 224, not crit capped, but that's okay because of his abilities. We have 239% on the crit damage, 156 resist, and then 120 on the accuracy. And he does happen to be fully booked for masteries. We're down the defense and we're down the offense. And what you don't see behind me is that we have kill streak and we have Helm Smasher as the T6. So this is going to be for Genbo. And again, he's an attack champ. And you're going to see, again, lifesteal and immortal. And the reason for that, too, is this comp does not have a reviver in here, right? And a lot of times, Genbo's kind of a glass cannon. So trying to at least be able to put gear like this on him is going to let him live a bit longer. But unfortunately, you're also sacrificing the attack as well, right? You're sacrificing some attack stats. Aborro is next. So you are going to see that Aborro is also in lifesteal and a crit damage set this time. With her, she's at 47,000 HP, 3,900 attack, 2,200 on the defense, 124 on the speed. She's not crit capped. 225 crit damage, 162 resist, and 142 on the accuracy. Want to see if she's fully booked. She is. And for her masteries, she is down the defense and offense as well. Behind me, we're going to have Methodical, Kill Streak, and her T6 is going to be Helm Smasher. Now, the thing with Aborro, with her skills, is she does have a chance of placing decreased defense, like an AoE decreased defense, but it is conditional. It is conditional. And Aborro does revive on a bit, but it's on herself, right? So again, talking about how this comp does not have a traditional reviver on here, because even Aborro just kind of takes care of herself. She doesn't help out the rest of the team, right? Next, we have Berningiri. So Berningiri is just all in immortal. He's basically just all in immortal sets. We have 3 of them. His stats, he's at 62,000 HP, 1,700 attack, 4,400 on the defense, 202 on the speed. Again, really low on the crit damage and the crit rate because we're not really depending on him for that. 204 on the resist and 209 on the accuracy. And for his skills, he's fully booked. Masteries, we're going to be going down the defense and the support with his T6 being Bulwark, which decreases damage all allies receive by 5%, and he takes the damage instead, which is also why his health and his defense are stacked as high as it is. Because again, we're going to be lacking revivers in here, so we want to try to mitigate as much damage from the rest of the team as possible. Yeah, and so Twitch chat is also pointing out, a good thing for me to point out is having both the damage dealers, Aborro and Genbo are going to be the damage dealers guys here. They are both the attack-based champs. Having them in lifesteal is a really, really smart move early game. This is also why when you first start the game, any of the starters you get, you're going to be getting a lifesteal set. And we always say toss that lifesteal set on your starters because they're attack champs. This is going to make sure, again, that they can do their damage and that they can live because you don't want them being glass cannons. So considering both these champs are the primary, like they're the damage dealers in this, the rest are support, we're going to want to try to keep them alive as possible. We also have Turagi. Turagi is so important in this comp because we are going to see he's in regen and perception, and his ally protect is what we're going to really kind of depend on to try to keep the rest of our team alive when we're up against the boss in this faction, right? So coming up to him, you're going to see, again, he's got a lot of health. He's at 74,000 HP, 1,700 attack, 2,200 on the defense, 264 on the speed. You know, we're not worried about the crit damage. He does have 344 on the resist and 212 on the accuracy. He is fully booked. And for his masteries, we're also going down defense and support. And similarly, he does have Bulwark as his T6, which again is going to mitigate damage from the rest of the team, and he's going to be taking it instead. All right, and then the last one to round out this team is going to be Jurroen. Now, I don't really see Jurroen used very often, so it's very interesting to see him in here. And what we see is he's also in a regen and an accuracy set. And this guy is an HP-based champ. So checking him out again, he does have a lot of HP. He's at almost 62,000, 1,600 attack, 3,300 on the defense, 236 on the speed, 212 on the resist, and 253 for the accuracy. He is fully booked. And what we're going to notice with him, guys, is he does shields. He provokes. He does unkillable, block damage for himself as well, too. Receives 25% less damage from enemy attacks when his HP drops. So he also, again, this is why we're stacking as much HP on him as possible. And he is not fully mastered. Okay, not fully mastered. But this is the team we're going to be running. Again, no Legos. No revivers, with some smart moves in here. Like I said, with having lifesteal and immortal for the most part, like on our attack dealers, having immortal and regen on these two champs here that are really gonna try to keep our champs alive and mitigate damage. So let's get over into Faction War 21. All right, guys, here we are. We are in Faction War Stage 21, and you are going to see that we have Jurroen in lead for increased ally HP in all battles by 25%, Genbo, Berningiri, Turagi, and Aborro, and we do have some presets. So let's go take a look on how our presets are set up. Round one, we're shutting off Jurroen's Provoke, and we're going to have him start off with ignoring defense. So we're going to do the unkillable and the block damage. So if you guys recall on round one, we do have Broadma on there. That's the revive. So we're going to want to try to take him out as fast as we can. Genbo, we're going to have Genbo start with his increased crit rate and increased crit damage for 3 turns, and he gets an extra turn, into Heartless Blitz, which is the AoE. So same thing, we're looking to take out the Reviver like ASAP. And again, this is also why you notice he wasn't built with 100% crit rate, right? He doesn't really need to because we get that 30% as well too. Berningiri, we're going to shut off his Strengthen and Shields on round one, and we're going to go with an AoE stun. Aborro, we're going to shut off her Mystic Smoke. This is, you know, it's going to be a chance of, it's going to be a 2-hit here, transferring debuffs, Veil Perfect Veil. We don't really need that on the first round. Instead, we're going to do Ninja Arts, which is crit rate, crit damage. Again, trying to take them out as fast as we can. And then for Turagi, we're going to start with his Shield Ally Protect just once, and then it gets shut off as you see. So this is going to be round one. Round two, so keep in mind, round two is going to be the round like the Man-Eater, the Draco, right? So we're going to have Jurroen start with his Provoke and Shield. He's only going to do it once, and then we're not going to do it again. Same thing with Genbo, is we're going to have him do his crit rate, crit damage right into an AoE. Berningiri, so this time, we're going to start with the Provoke. We want to take out the Man-Eater, right? We don't want the Man-Eater doing unkillable. So we're going to start with the Provoke into his Strength and Shields, and then into the AoE stun as well too. Aborro, we are going to have her start with her increased crit rates, you know, shields. going into her Mystic Smoke, which is the 2-hitter into the Veil, Perfect Veil, because that comp, like I said, also has Draco, but it also has Norog. So it's got a couple really annoying champs in there. And then Turagi, we're going to start with Ally, Protect, and Shields and Reflect into the AoE Provoke. Now, up against the boss, what we're going to do is we're just going to kind of let the comp run. All right. Up against the boss, we're going to start with Monk Spade, which is going to be decreased attack, right? We want the boss hitting us for at least amount of damage as possible. So we're going to start with the decreased attack. We're going to end doing shields. We have the shields provoke into True Smite, which is the unkillable block damage. Again, we have no revivers in here, right? So we want to try to keep our champs alive best we can. Genbo, basically same thing as he's buffing himself, taking an extra turn, and then, you know, we're hoping he comes in and hits for some massive damage on his A2. Berningiri, we're actually going to shut off his stun because you can't stun the boss. It's not worth it. So we're going to do Frightful Warcry, which is a strengthen in shields. Again, this is where we kind of need our support champs to make sure we keep everybody alive and try to keep Genbo and Aborro alive since they're going to be our damage dealers. Aborro coming in with her crit rate and crit damage. We want her being able to hit as hard as she can. And then she's also going to be able to pretty much get herself into a Veil, a Perfect Veil, trying to keep herself alive. Turagi, we're going to shut off his Provoke. And what we're going to start with is we are going to start with this decreased attack. Again, we want the boss hitting us for least amount of damage as possible. Going into Bog Blessing, which is going to be the shield and ally protect, but also the reflect damage. And he does heal a bit with the poisons as well too. So here we go, guys. This is going to be Faction War 21. No legendaries, no revivers. So remember, we are going to start with Broad Mob. We want to try to take him out pretty much as fast as we can, and we don't want him reviving the team. So we got the provokes that landed. All right. There we go. So Frog was down. Beautiful. So what we're going to do is on the second wave, we are going to focus Maneater. We want to try to get Maneater down as fast as we can on the second wave. Okay. Nice. There we go. So Aborro did put herself into a Veil, which is good. And again, this is why, like, you're looking at Genbo and Aborro, like, you see their health dropping quite a bit. Because, again, like, both of them could be glass cannons in ways, which is why they're both built with lifesteal to try to make sure we can keep up their health as much as possible. Even though we have the other champs that are going to be trying to mitigate damage. So we got the Provoke on the Maneater, which is great. We want to try to prevent him from doing his unkillable. And we want to try to take him out as fast as we can. So we got a lot of Provokes going on, which is great. Yeah, Nora gets annoying with being able to block buffs too. Okay, Maneater. Nice, got the Provoke again. Good, trying to prevent him from doing his unkillables. We got Aborro in her Veil, so she doesn't get targeted. Beautiful. And she's down. There we go. Beautiful, beautiful. So next we are going to focus Draco. I don't want Draco getting spicy. Good job. And we do keep landing the Provokes, which is great. So far, so good. Nice. Got some stuns in there. Beautiful. Okay. So far, so good. Now when we get to the boss, we're just gonna let it run. Yeah, I mean, obviously, I see Twitch chat asking about some other champs. So guys, keep in mind, this comp was purposely built with no legendaries and no revivers because not everybody has those champs. All right, and we're just gonna let it run. Just gonna let it run. So we do have the decreased attack on the boss, which is really important. Because again, we want the boss hitting us for the least amount as possible. Okay. So Jurroen got a hit there, but we're still okay. Got some shields. Ooh, Aborro. Aborro coming in with a counterattack as well, too. Good job. So now she's veiled. She shouldn't be targeted. Okay, so Turagi got the hit that time. Yeah, Turagi is really solid for this faction, guys. If you have him, he's gonna be great. So we land the decreased attack again. Okay. All right, Genbo got hit, but he was also stunned. He did heal up a little bit because of his lifesteal. All right, Genbo down, RB, Genbo down. But we should still be able to clear it. Yeah, Turagi is definitely one of the best ally protects champs in the game. Now with RNG, I'm sure we can get to a point where you won't lose somebody on here. But again, it kind of becomes an RNG game too, right? So Jurroen took that hit, but he's fine. Turagi took it, he's fine. Okay. Berningiri looked like that tickled. All right, Berningiri is fine. Yeah, so chances are, guys, if you do want a 3-star, you can manual and it'll be fine. But again, the idea was to show no Legos and no revivers. And to still be able to clear. And again, like the gear it wasn't like US's S tier gear or anything either. But yeah, manually you should be able to 3-star. There we go. There we go. And so we do have, look at Aborro. Aborro with almost 700,000. All right, so there are a couple options that, we're talking about Twitch chat too. So Fenshi is really solid. He's also really, really good in the Fire Knight. Fenshi could be really good. Like he's a good substitute for Genbo, especially with the turn meter control. So I could show you guys Fenshi if you're not familiar with him. The reason why he's not in here is US doesn't have him built, but let me show you Fenshi as another option instead of Genbo if you don't have him. He's fantastic and he's so good in the Fire Knight. And this is why, because Fenshi's A1, he hits 3 times, decreased speed. Again, we're talking boss, right? A2, nowhere to run, hits 3 times, decreasing turn meter, again, on the boss. And then A3 hits twice with poisons and ignores 10% of target's defense for each poison debuff on the target. So he's really, really solid too. So in case you guys didn't know that, he's fantastic in the Fire Knight because of the decreased speed and the turn meter control on his A1 and A2. And he's a multi-hitter as well. So he's so good there. And yeah, he definitely could be useful in Faction Wars as well too with this, if that is something else you guys are looking for. So you asked, thank you so very, very much for this showcase. Guys, leave me some comments down below on teams you are running for Shadowkin, especially if you are, if you yourself are at the point where you don't have Legos and Revivers, what are you running? And thank you so much again, US. Hey, check out some more videos up here in the playlist in the top right.